My name is Ira. I'm 26 and I've been suffering from depression since I was about 18. The first 2-3 years were quite a blur. The most common scene in my life was that I was in a room, either my room in my mom's house or my dad's house or in college. Day would turn to night and the room would get dark, and I didn't really have the energy to turn the light on, so I would just be lying there. Sometimes I was crying, then I was blank, then I was crying. And I sort of swung between self-pity and numbness. My depression crippled me. It's not a symbolic expression. I couldn't get out of bed. My body wouldn't carry me. I was afraid to go out, meet people, do things, because I didn't know when my energy would run out and when it would feel like now I had to get horizontal. My mind also didn't work very well. I couldn't plan, curate, problem solve. When I wasn't in the thick of my depressive episode, I was overwhelmed by the fear of it. I wondered what other people like me must be doing. Alone, in our rooms, in the dark, left to die. Because I can't explain. And even if I found the words, I don't really have the energy. And you may love me, but if you don't understand, then you won't believe and then you can't help. As I navigated my journey, my personal journey as well as my professional journey through mental health, it was as though I had had blinkers on that now suddenly came off. Everywhere I looked, I was seeing people struggle, from distress to disorder, disability, depression, addiction, loneliness, so much loneliness. Social media and the digital space is also scary. Hate, manipulation, bullying. Even when it came to seeking for help, there was unhelpful and actually harmful professionals. The gaps in the education system and the regulation processes, there were a lot of dread-inducing things. But then there were times where I'd bang my hands on the table and be like, it doesn't have to be like this. First, I was like, I'm being naive. Then I would learn something, and then I would re-bang my hands on the table and say, see, it didn't have to be like this. What I meant was, what I went through didn't have to be like this. There were things that could have been taught to me, my friends, my family, that would have greatly affected the way in which I experienced my depression. Either the intensity, the way that I was supported. My peers didn't have to have those harmful experiences. We as a people have learnt how to regulate our emotions, build resilience, improve communication skills, and build objectively healthier habits. I'm not saying we know everything, but there's a lot we do know, based on science, born from years of research and evidence. Initially, the plan was that I would work towards bridging the gap between professionals and people. Then, I found out that researchers have been doing research on how nobody is using their research. Depending on the discipline, it takes up to 17 years for research findings to reach clinical practice. When is it reaching the education system then? When is it reaching the industry within which it can have impact? When is it reaching me? So I decided dissemination is my aim. Dissemination means I learn something and I communicate that, but in a way that is accessible to you. So apart from the language, I also have to tell you how to use this learning and then create ways for you to apply this learning in your life. This enables you to live your life the way you want to, because you have information and you know how to use it or not use it. It's up to you. You're empowered. What I want to tell you is that as an individual person with limited control over systemic factors, there are things that you can do to make your life better, whatever that means for you. I have some learnings which have played an important role in my own mental health journey that I would like to disseminate. I call it emotional hygiene. The first time I heard the word, it was from a TED talk by Guy Winch. given in 2015. We have known this since 2015. Today, I will share my version with you. There are 6 components. It's called hygiene because you're supposed to do it irrespective of whether you're feeling good or bad. It's for growth, maintenance, and then also care. And it's for your mind, which is your brain and your body. First, it starts with self-awareness, because if you don't know, there's not much you can do. Remember those memes on Instagram about being hangry? The idea that you're irritated and cranky because your boyfriend is being annoying, but actually you're just hungry, and then you eat something, and then you're fine. Your boyfriend is still doing the same thing, but it's not irritating anymore. Many times I'm sitting around, I'm not feeling good, I don't know why. I order a tub of ice cream, I eat it, but I don't feel much better. In fact, I feel worse. Because I was not feeling good, I tried to do something, it didn't make me feel better, and now I don't really feel very much in control. I actually missed my mom and I wanted a hug. If I can eat the ice cream, but if I wanted a hug from my mom or a kiss from Popeye or a challenge in my life, or I needed to go to the gym to just move, the ice cream's not going to help. If we are able to appropriately meet our needs, we'll feel more in control of our lives. So how do you identify the need? Think about self-awareness as a verb. It's not something to achieve, it's something to do. When you're on a busy, chaotic street, please don't be self-aware. Focus on the cars and on staying alive. When you turn your focus inwards onto yourself, you're practicing self-awareness. Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Am I scared, lonely, defensive, happy? You have to allow yourself to feel all your feelings. Ugly feelings like jealousy and anger, shameful feelings like lust, selfish feelings like happiness. You'll slowly get better at listening to yourself the more you practice. Physically tracking things down can also help you stay objective and accurately get a reading. But it takes lots of time to build self-awareness. So, until you get there, here's a helpful tip. If you get rejected, dismissed, you feel betrayed, or you fail at anything, just any of these to any degree, assume you have an emotional injury. Maybe one, but you have one. I'm not saying roll over and play victim. I'm saying account for it, put a balm on it, and move on. How do I do that? If my self-confidence has been hurt, I don't get a response on a job application, I send in a proposal and it comes back with lots of mistakes, don't beat yourself up. First, do something that'll bolster your self-confidence, and then go back to fixing whatever you want to do. Doing 10 push-ups makes me feel better about my overall existence. Talking to someone who's happy to praise me and give me a pep talk reminds me that I'm not crap as like an entire human being. Different degrees of injury to my self-confidence require different remedies. So until you start getting better at being able to listen to yourself and feel your feelings, assume that you have an emotional injury and account for it. You have to take care of yourself. You can gain all this self-awareness, but if you don't act on it in a way that is caring and compassionate, you may not be able to help your emotional state much. Imagine you have a child to take care of. This child has played outside all day. It doesn't matter if you don't change its clothes before it goes to bed. You're feeling a little tired. They don't need dinner tonight. They won't die. They won't even fall sick. The world won't stop. No? No. You'll make sure they change. You won't let them miss a meal. You'll brush the knots out of their hair every day. You won't close your eyes and pick up the first thing you see in the cupboard and make them wear it, because wearing something nice will bring a smile to their face. Acknowledging the effort they put into drawing a painting for you will make them feel appreciated. Making room for their feelings, even the small ones, will make them feel supported. Be a responsible adult. Well, that means putting effort into your survival, but also your joy and enrichment. It matters. The living, feeling, breathing being that you're supposed to take care of and love is you. Why be positive? Evolutionarily and biologically, our brains are wired to notice the negative. This is not a good thing or a bad thing. This is helpful for survival because to fend off danger, you have to notice it actively. If there's a potential threat, your mind will first turn in that direction. There's a smoking building or a loud bang, you'll turn. You'll realize it's too far away to hurt you, it's a firecracker, and then you go back to your daily life. With the amount of uncertainty and stimulus and metaphysical threat right now, one could say that it's easy to get into the habit of only noticing the negative. Don't think of this as good or bad. Use this knowledge to realize your primitive brain is doing the thing it needs to in this changing world. And your prefrontal cortex and other frontal networks are also working alongside. They can help you more intentionally bring attention to the happy, the safe, the positive. When the rickshaw wala says yes, do a little dance. And when you're eating Anish's paratha from Chura canteen, take few extra seconds to savor it. You might realize that your day, week, month, life has not been all that bad. Perspective can change your mood, which can change your thoughts and your behaviors. If you don't have access to medication and therapy, feeling a sense of belonging and connectedness can take you a long way. And even if you're okay, it's still important. I'm not going to convince you about that part. I've spoken to so many people who have said, I don't have any friends. I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm sorry. There's no way around it. If you think you don't have any friends, go out there and make some. If you think you aren't very close to your family, you don't have many close people, you have to go out there and work on those connections. Because the truth is, we all want friends and connection. Everybody likes Instagram likes, everybody wants love and attention, and we're all just afraid of rejection. So how? There are many things to consider, but in the interest of time, let's talk about one of the most effective aspects of connection: vulnerability. Being vulnerable is the most sure shot way of building connection because you're honest and you're open. So if someone connects with you in that moment, it will lead to the strongest subjective feeling of connectedness. Showing up for a capoeira class for the first time is being vulnerable. You're in a room with new people, doing a movement you've never done before. You can look stupid, you can make a mistake. Go ahead, turn to the person next to you and say, I actually don't know what capoeira is. That is also being vulnerable. I rewrote the whole Anish Paratha thing 3 times because 4 different people told me, no, it's a thing, no, it's not a thing, yes, it's a thing. I was just trying to be relatable to y'all. I've actually never been. Vulnerability isn't about sharing your deepest, darkest secret with someone. If I don't tell you that I'm tired, sad, happy, or lesbian, you're not going to know. I'm going to feel disconnected from you because you don't really know me. And even if you love me and you've known me for years, if I lie to myself or hide myself from someone, you're not going to feel a sense of belonging and connectedness to yourself or anyone else. Are you actually living your life? I was talking to my therapist about painting or something, and she said, art is in the doing. And it hit me. Life is in the doing. There's constant input all the time. We live in a world where our minds and bodies are continuously absorbing, eating food, watching a movie, reading a book, scrolling through Instagram, even listening to this TED Talk. So we need to focus more on output. Watching a movie is input. Chatting about that movie or writing a review is output. All forms of art, cooking, moving your body, journaling, playing with your pet, anything where you are actively using your mind and body is a form of output. Make a list of everything you do in a day. See how many of those things are input, how many of those things are output. And notice how you feel when there's more output. Ask for help. There's often shame and fear when it comes to seeking help for your mental health. But we ask for help all the time. We have tuition teachers, carpenters, lawyers, editors. You always ask the printer dada for help. You go to the professional who's trained to do the task. It's perfectly normal. So if you need help with your mental health, go to a mental health professional. I read a post on Instagram. The longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it is to reach home. You want to stay strong for your family. For that, first you have to be well. There's 6 components that broadly cover everything that has been helpful and meaningful for me. But I can't tell you what exactly fits in your life. Neither can Instagram or your life coach or your therapist. This dissemination is meant to provide you with a framework that you can make your own. You have to make it your own. And the last key ingredient, without which this framework will not work. And if I have lost you and you are falling asleep, come back to me for this one moment. If the one key ingredient to this framework is sincerity. Don't take this seriously. There'll be a gust of energy that'll fizzle out, and that's usually unhelpful. You need to take this sincerely, bit by bit, on good days, on bad days, on okay days. You celebrate your win even on good days. You do self-care even on good days, and you reach out and connect with people even on good days. Proactive, sincere integration. Even if you pick only one component, do it sincerely. If you or your loved one has ever been where I was, it doesn't have to be this way. There are systems that are bigger than us that will take time to change. They may or may not be empowering us, but I want you to know that there's so much knowledge out there. Mental health, a balanced, content life, they don't have to be an exclusive luxury. Empower yourself proactively for a better today and tomorrow, and let sincerity be your guiding principle. Thank you.